Product Spotlight.
Okay, welcome back to Oddie's Airsoft, and today we're going to have a look at comms. Now, when you start off your airsofting, you build up your tactical gear over a while, and especially if you get into a team, you'll want to start using some sort of communication system. Now, I've used a couple, and I have a number of systems that I use depending on the gameplay that we're playing and my loadout. So the first protocol is my throat mic, and I'll show you my throat mic now. My throat mic is connected to a PTT, which means push to talk. It's a little button that sits usually around here on my rig, and it means that I can call in my comms through the throat mic by just pressing the button, and when I release it stops transmitting. From the PTT it goes round the back into where I store my walkie-talkie. My walkie-talkie is a Motorola. Now, one thing I'm just going to say about walkie-talkies is a lot of guys, when they start off in airsoft, they tend to try and buy as cheaply as they can, and sometimes that can be a false economy. The cheaper the walkie-talkie, the cheaper the circuitry inside, and the less range it will have and the more problems you will have with it. So as a start-off point, I'd be looking at a Motorola. For myself, that's what I would use. In fact, I use, it's the Motorola XTR446. Now, as a starting off comms unit, is very good. It's a step up from the basic versions of what most airsofters tend to use. It's the sort of leapfrog into the semi-professional arena. It's a very nifty device, and very clear and great range. There are units above this which move, as I said, more into the professional arena. I know Mark, who is one of our reviewers here, he uses a model above this one and finds it flawless. But as a starting off point, they're not cheap, but you know, you get what you pay for in life, and I have come to the conclusion a long time ago that if you keep buying cheap, you're going to buy twice, because you'll have problems with it. So from the onset, I went out and got myself what I would call a mid-range comm device, and I have to say I haven't found a problem with it yet. So the first thing we're going to look at is my throat mic. Now, this is my throat mic. It's a very simple system. Throat mic sits around the throat naturally. Now, with the throat mic, you have to kind of fiddle with it until you hit the sweet spot on your throat where the vocal messaging comes through best. Sometimes if it slips too low or rides too high, you don't get the best comms. Now, it comes with a small little earpiece, very contractor style, and the earpiece pops in like so, and it gives it a very clear audible acoustics. This is the PTT, which will clip here, and as I say, with a simple press of the button I can communicate with team members. The other end attaches into the top of my Motorola and sits in the back of my rig. So that's the throat mic, and it's a very good system, especially if you are going fairly light. Now, my next system I'm going to show you is something a little bit different and a little bit special. I was wearing this yesterday in game, and it got a lot of interest going. This is a Zed Contact II. Basically, it's a headset with full mic boom. Now, as you can see, I actually have on the side of it my HD camera, which I use for filming in game. It's attached with heavy duty Velcro. You don't have to have this attached naturally. The way this works is there's two buttons here. When you press the two of them in, it turns the unit on. When it turns the unit on, there's two little microphones here and here, and those two microphones pick up all the ambient noise and transfer them into the headset, so it sounds like you don't have a headset on. It sounds like normal everyday talking or noise. And the great thing about this, you can actually turn it up. So if you're a little bit hard of hearing, which when you get to my age happens a lot, but if you're a little bit hard of hearing, or you actually want to try and listen in for foot noise or footfall, and you're keeping very quiet, you can actually turn these right up. And the worry there would be that if then something went off like a Thunder Bee, with these turned up, you'd have a problem with the amplification of the noise really doing some damage to your eardrums. Not so with these. These are absolutely fantastic because they have a noise cancelling system within them. If there is a noise level over 85 decibels, it shuts down the system, so they go into like ear muffs or ear protectors. And the great thing about that is if you are in a room clearing situation, somebody does chuck in a Thunder Bee, they're loud at the best times, but with these on, you can hear them, but they won't affect your playing. They certainly will protect your eardrums from a loud noise. Now, I played with these yesterday, and I can concur that they actually do cut noise out. Even when you're shouldering an AEG and there's a big clack of firing going on, the earphone next to the noise cancels out, leaving the other one to keep listening in, which is quite difficult to get used to at first, but it's very effective. And once you've played within it for a couple of hours, they're brilliant. Now, I use lithium batteries in these as choice. You don't have to, but the lithium will make them last longer, and I think it'll help the circuitry inside. As I said, I have a HD camera on. This will sit like so. This is a military jack. It plugs into the PTT, and the PTT then transfers to the Motorola on the back. They're very unique looking, very different, and I would recommend them. After using them in game a little bit, I have to say they're very comfortable to wear. They give very good ear protection, and most of all, they do communicate very well. Very good audible comms coming in. The best part of these for me is the fact that I can mount my camera on the side, so I can get some footage while I'm playing in game. An awful lot of people were asking me yesterday, you've left the back door of your tachyon open. I actually haven't. It's on purpose, and I have it held in with elastic. The reason for this is the Tachyon HD and all the Tachyon units, they're fully waterproof. When you close up the back door, they seal tight. Which is brilliant for if you're going into water situations or it's raining. The only problem is it's an internal mic, and when this is closed, the sound quality is poor. Now, even with the sound, even with the door left open, the sound quality isn't great, but you know, it's a trade-off. It gives it a little bit of a different perspective, and to have it in game is great. So that's my headset. I would only use this if I'm using some film or I'm doing some filming, because it's the most comfortable and easiest way to carry my camera. Now, the other set I have is my Cavalvi headset. Now, this one again works off the PTT system, and it's takes a little bit of getting used to when you're not used to wearing things like this. Very comfy, sits around with a nice boom, goes into a PTT, and again off you go. Great clear comms, and not as restrictive as many of the other items that you might be wearing. The Zed Tactical headset, it can feel a bit bulky, and it takes a little bit getting used to. This just fits like a glove, you don't even know you have it there. Very clear comms and a great looking system. So that's a quick look at the comm systems I use, and most of the guys I play with tend to use a variant of these. Most of these things were bought from eHobby Asia, and I have to say I haven't had any faults with them so far, and they look very good, and they do the job that they're meant to do. There's a number of different styles of the Cavalvi. They have the swimmer, which is a completely waterproof system, and they have this normal Cavalvi headset, which I prefer, and it also gives me a nice base here if I wanted to put some Velcro on to stick my camera on from a different angle, or you know, anything else I wanted to stick onto it, it will help me do so. But that's more to do with filming rather than normal gameplay, which most guys won't be into anyway. So this has been Oddie's Airsoft. It was a quick look at comms, and I hope you found that slightly interesting. Talk to you later.